This video's full purpose is to show you how to remove the topper off of a TwinStar and install the candle kit. Some things you'll need for the conversion will be the TwinStar candle shroud, the TwinStar candle, the metric number 7, the metric number 10, and a very long Phillips head number 2. Step 1 will be to turn off the power of the VGT. Step 2 will be remove this plastic and then this plastic from the back side of the topper. You'll notice when you start to get the back half off that the candle is still attached to some harnesses. That's okay. That's going to bring us to the next step, which would be we're going to remove the top monitor to unplug some wires, and it also gives us access to some mounting screws. If you've never removed the top monitor or the middle monitor from a TwinStar, the key thing to remember is this little latch right here helps you remove. That's the locking mechanism for this monitor. I'm going to go ahead and remove it here. There we go. So I'm going to remove this monitor. Showed you in the video how to remove the latch so that it comes up. It goes up and out in one motion. Otherwise it's going to re-latch. So lift it up, and now we're going to unplug. There's a grounding wire. Unplug that. We're going to unplug the video DVI cable, and then there's the power and the emotive lighting wires. Unplug those, and now you can set the monitor down. Okay, go ahead. You would think you're almost done, but we're far from it. To install the new candle kit, this metal plate up on top has to come off, and it is mounted underneath this plastic shroud. So the next step is to take off this handle and this plastic, and we'll do that from the inside. There's the handle, and then there's some screws here and here, and there's a few more that hold the back shroud. Now these two are actually easier to uninstall from the top than trying to fish them out throughout the cabinet. So you'll unplug the video cable from the monitor. That's why we took the plastic off. And then the other one comes up here, plugs into the bottom of the light emotive board here. And plugs into the side of the monitor to power it here. Got the tire bezel off the back now. There's two grounding straps right here and here. Remove those with that number 7 metric nut driver. Next step, you want to make sure you have a second person maybe holding onto the monitor. We're going to remove these 4 metric number 10s. So when you remove these, be careful. It's going to want to tip forward. So just be careful. When you loosen these, the monitor may want to tip forward. Alright, so once you get the last of the hardware off, that's all that is holding this monitor to this cabinet. And again, it's a very heavy monitor, so best to have 2 people. It can be done with 1, but I would endorse 2 people. Cut. You would think you're almost done, but we're far from it. To install the new candle kit, this metal plate up on top has to come off, and it is mounted underneath this plastic shroud. So the next step is to take off this handle and this plastic, and we'll do that from the inside. There's the handle, and then there's some screws here and here, and there's a few more that hold the back shroud. So with the handle removed, these removed, there's one more here, and then I'll be able to remove the actual plastic. Now this mounting plate is just for the monitor. This has to come off. And if you pay attention, you can see where the posts are. See that one there, that one, and that one? These are the posts that mount the nuts, or the bolts, and we'll have to pull these nuts off. So this nut, and then this nut, this nut, this nut, this nut, these, this one, this one, this one, this one, and so forth, and then you'll get this metal plate off of the top. Now, if the plate fights you trying to come off once all the hardware is off, you can take 2 extra nuts off of these 2 brackets here. This holds the roof of the cabinet on. I took those 2 off, and I can pull the whole thing off, but you're going to have to pry the roof off of the topper with a flathead screwdriver. With a little bit of coaxing and a flathead screwdriver, you can get the roof of the machine off of that metal plate. And then we're going to reinstall the roof of the machine. Once you get all the hardware off of the bottom, everything, you'll be able to remove this plate, and then it may not come easily, but we want to get rid of this mounting plate that's only for the topper. So you can pop that off with a flathead screwdriver, get rid of it. We need this black plate still. You get the 2 separated. We don't need this anymore. It'll stay with your topper. We need this to mount the new candle kit too. So go ahead and reinstall this to the cabinet, and you can start with the 3 on the end, 3 on the end, and then you can mount those center ones that mount to those 2 brackets up there. You're going to need some long metric screws to mount your candle, but you can always borrow some from your old candle if need be. After your candle is mounted to the plastic, we can install it through the top hole. These posts will fall through those holes right there. Alright, so when you mount this, the post will go through. You want to make sure the round corners are in the back. Alright, the square corners are up front. You want the round corners in back. And you want to do this before you put the back shroud on, because the back shroud is going to go over this edge here. So we want to make sure we get this secured down now. And it's only 4 nuts. You're going to have 4 nuts left over. When you mounted everything else, you should have 4 nuts left over. Make sure that you ground the candle down too. And plug in your candle, super candle, and the power wires. Now that we've got the candle mounted and plugged in, we can plug in the back shroud to the back of the cabinet. Start with the back edge, and make sure that both sides fit in. And then we're going to reverse the process, obviously, and put all the screws back in that we took out. Alright, so now your super candle without the topper is installed. Believe it or not, the J43 is actually a lot easier. You still need to unplug everything from the back, everything, because you don't want to unplug anything down here. You're going to unplug everything from the top, and all you have to do is take a lot of nuts, just a lot of 7mm nuts, off of the entire bottom plate. They're everywhere, in the back and in the front, and you can get the entire topper off of the J43 a lot easier. There's no mounting plate to remove or anything crazy. And this was the video on how to remove the topper for a TwinStar or a J43.